better stop it or it'll go on forever. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be back. It's been a few days, 4 or 5. Now I'm trying to decide if I want my hair like this. It's warm. This is my daughter's t-shirt. I was like, can I wear it today? I'm feeling good. I was so busy this week. Monday, I went to Blow Del Donovan with my daughter, and it's about a 2-mile ride there. And we literally had to walk our bikes up past the cemetery. And then we got on our bikes. One has gears, one doesn't, because the yellow one, the nice Hucan or whatever it is of my son's bike, it's so heavy to carry up these flights of stairs when we get back. So I opted for the one without gears, and that's a lot of pedaling, right? With no gears. And then you brake, of course, by going like that. But we faced traffic, and it was pretty busy, but we're facing traffic, so I felt safer that way. And probably on your bikes, you're not supposed to necessarily do that, but it's definitely safer, I think, seeing what's coming at you. So yeah. And we got there, and there were hundreds of people. I thought because it was in the middle of the week, there wouldn't be that many. And there was. And boy, these girls these days, there's just nothing to their it's bikini style. I know you walk towards traffic. Yes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hi, Jason B26. Thank you for the kind sentiment after one of my programs the other day, or was it after one of my posts? Now I can't remember. And you too, Mary Jane Doe. And hi, Freeside, and everyone that keeps up with me and my crazy life. Hi, Honor and Daniel Berry Sports, Freeside. It's always good to see all of you too. You're like my regulars on here. I got out my flip phone and I was filming. Not the bikinis necessarily. People were mostly sitting down then, but I am just amazed. I'm amazed at the bikinis where the line goes right up the bottom. I was just like, wow. And everybody, no matter what size you are, is wearing these barely there bikinis. That's what they should be called, barely there. But maybe I'm just kind of prudish because I'm older now. I've never worn a bikini out in public like that, where it's like a thong bikini or something. That's just amazing to me. But people were playing volleyball, and I noticed some were bringing alcohol. It was displayed pretty much in the open, and you're not supposed to have. Yeah, the ones where the bikini goes right up the butt cheeks are funny. I know. And it's funny, the teens that like to dress alike, the exact same colors, the same hairdos and everything. So my daughter went in the water, and I didn't, because I didn't feel, well, I wasn't hot enough for one thing, and I didn't feel I would be, I don't know, like the water was probably, yes, used to wear a bikini with the shorts. Yeah, mine has like a skirt. It's an orange and blue skirt thing with a top. And I was just in a tank top and shorts. And I mean, you probably can't really tell, but see, I got a little bit of a white line right there. So, I got a little color and that was nice. My daughter did too, and a little bit of a sunburn on her back where the swimming suit wasn't. I think when she sprayed the lotion, she might have missed that one spot. And then she went up on her own. We were there a good 2.5 hours. And then when we rode back, it was even crazier. All these boats were coming in and trying to turn in. And it's right along the water and there's sand. It's not a huge beach area. It's literally Lake Whatcom, but there's sand there, no lifeguards. And but it was nice and it was beautiful weather. I think it was 77 that day. And then a couple of days later, when my daughter went by herself, I had to get to the bank for an appointment with my son. And, he did that while I went across the street to Fred Meyer and picked up some things. And then I picked up so many things that instead of walking home with these bags and backpacks, drinks, I grabbed too many drinks. And actually 2 small bags of Purina cat chow. His banker gave us a ride home. It was so nice. And I don't think you should always catch rides, right, with people you don't know, but he had talked to him a lot. He's the one that opened his account. He's very professional, young African-American man, a good 5 years younger than my son, but he's really got it all together. So he picked, gave us both a ride home with our groceries. So that was really nice. No, and I bought a basket. There was a blue one attached to the light blue, non-gearing, old-fashioned, whatever bike it's called, Mary Jane Doe. And it just looked kind of young and childish, I kind of thought. So I took the basket off. Kind of wish now I'd left it on, but took that off. I don't even know what I did with it. It was kind of old. It's a used bike. I paid only $50 for the light blue bike that we keep our bikes out there because we used to be able to keep them on the deck, and now we can't have bikes on the deck. So anyway, I bought a basket, one of those wiry black ones, cost about $35. Got it home, and there was just no way to attach that thing onto my bike. I don't know what the deal was. I kind of even went over how to do it, attach it at the store with the guy, but too many things were in the way. I don't know. So I returned it and got my money back. No, locking it downstairs. I mean, there's bike locks or bike stands or whatever they're called, bike lock stands, bike racks down nearish the front of the apartment complex. This is a real huge apartment complex. There's 50, 260s building, 270s, 280s, 290s, 2000, 2010, 2020, 2030, 2040, and 2050. And it goes all the way around. And I've been here forever, and it has a pool. But you have to have a special number now because of the, COVID or whatever. They have a certain amount they allow in the pool. And I don't know, we'll let the kids go, We used to go all the time. My daughter took lessons down there. And that was nice. Mr. Big Stuff, hello. Hi. Yeah, and it's all storage units in the middle. So you've got the apartments, storage units, more apartments, a new mail area that they built. No, they're not covered up. And I locked my bike. I mean, it was locked, but I forgot to bring it in that night. This was probably 8 years ago, and someone stole my darn bike. They cut through the thing. Now, more than likely, I think it was just a number 1 or something, but it wasn't an expensive bike. It was a bike that I had for a long time. I would put my daughter on the front in a little seat and ride her to preschool. Yeah. And we're not supposed to lock our bikes up to the stairwells down below. And many people did. And then we all got kind of an email about that. So, yeah. So, hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. So, yeah. Oh, it's cold, Mary Jane Doe, still in New York. Yeah, I mean, today it was probably 61 or something. I brought my flower pot, carried it down the stairs to the grass over there and sat out there on Tuesday just for about an hour and got a few more freckles. My face just kind of freckles. Well, even my body, but I'm getting a little bit of color. I'm not into the tanning thing like I used to be. We had a tanning bed here, and I was addicted, you guys. I was in that thing every day for 20 minutes, not 10, 20 every time, because I didn't want to lose my tan. In the summertime for 4 years. And then I looked up stuff on the internet about, skin cancer and stuff and really freaked out. And so I made my first appointment 4 years ago to see the dermatologist and have a skin check. Never had one before. If you've never had one, it's super easy. Here anyway, they let you keep your underwear on and you put a white sheet thing over you and you just sit on a stool and they have you stand up. And I mean, they're awfully fast. I think they're almost too quick, but they take a magnifying glass and just over your body, right? And it's not all invasive and it's really quick. And yeah. So, and then I had another one done because I haven't been using sunscreen. You'd think I would, but I haven't for the last few years until this year. I used 30 SPF, so I'd get a little color at Blodell when we were there. Yeah, so turn this off. So also for the last couple of days, I've been trying to find music. Because for the last, I misspoke. I think it was like a week ago. I had said I have been on here for 2.5 years because I took off the 3 months of the 3 months when I just took these long hiatuses. But no, it was 1.5 years. It'll be 2 years, or it would have been 2 years this August. But because, or wait, now I can't think. No, see, I have to think like when I started watching Dolly Vision and when I was on his panel, because it was after that I came on here. So that was in 22 and it's 25. And I started it that next following August, a year later. So yeah, it would be 2 years this August. So to think that I've really only been on here a year and a half is good grief. I'm really kind of surprised about it because it feels longer. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, I did watch Jimmy's live, when he was on his horse, I guess for the first time, or a real horse as an adult. I thought he said once he was on a real small one, like a lot of people are at the fair once, but I don't know. And it reminded me of my horse. I had a horse named Ginger. She was honestly, she was a Shetland pony, but she was a horse, if that makes any sense. She was a big Shetland pony, let's put it that way. And then she had this gray, what kind of, I can't remember what kind of pony that was now. I was 10. And we fed it oats and this and that and the other thing. And it was at my grandparents' farm in Iowa. And then I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he just sold them later on. I don't know. Um, but I got freaked out when it started trotting a little too fast for me, and I fell off, and it knocked the wind out of me when I fell on my chest when I was 10. And I never got on it again. I was too chicken. But watching them ride as an adult and everything really looked like fun, and looked like he was having a good time, and it was beautiful weather. So that was kind of neat. That brought me back to some of my memories, or a memory of horses. Um, but yeah, I was thinking about my lives. It's like they used to be all serial killers and people disappearing on ships and missing people, and um, true crime and whatever. And all the craziness with some of the creators and the turtles, and um, how mellowed out I am now. For one, I'm a little older, but going through what I've been through, having first the what's the word for it? The announcement, we'll just say, of my sister's cancer is still a struggle for her, and apparently she tried to get a stent in one of her kidneys, just like my mom, and they couldn't do it. I talked to her the other day, and so she's going to try again, I guess, in June. The chemo pill that she's on now is working, has shrunk a lot of tumors, but I thought she said it had shrunk all of them. But then when she texted me, I pretty sure she said that they weren't all shrunk. So she's tired a lot. I just, it's like we have our own battles. Um, Mine are mostly mental, I think, worrying about my son and his future. And do you know what I mean? Like, I don't worry about my daughter at all. She's a beautiful girl. She's level-headed. She's smart. She's wise. You know. And my son is real smart too. As far as being wise though, I don't know. Being on the spectrum. And again, when he was a teen, he didn't seem like he was on the spectrum at all. It seemed like it really started happening after the 2 meningitis shots within 8 months of each other. And I'm for vaccinations, and I don't want to get in trouble on my channel, but, talking about that. But his speech started going, and then the anxieties were coming, and the depression, and then when he was 11, the OCD started happening. And it's not fun to label your child, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And he knows. But I won't say what, where, why, or what, but he's doing a lot better mentally. And we'll just leave it at that. So anyway, I was thinking about my lives and how they've changed, between that, and then I have this stress-induced heart attack, and before that, my mom passes away, and she had a stress-induced heart attack, plus a little stroke 2 months before, or no, 6 months before she passed away. So it's just like, do you know what I mean? Like, you all know this. As you get older, you just really never know anymore what a day will bring. I mean, you don't know when you're younger, but it's really, really different. I remember in my 40s, because I had Shaylin when I was 41. I was pregnant then, and felt like I had the energy of a 30-year-old, and just life was just so different. Do you know what I mean? So kind of upbeat, and her father and I talked about marriage and everything. And then that's when we were going to call the justice of the peace after 8 years. It was his idea. And then boom, it's like, I can't find him all day for 2 days. And I won't get into this whole story, but I looked and looked and I called and even took a bus because I was I took a bus everywhere he might be, at the place where those cars race around tracks. Now I can't even think of what that's called. Um, Everywhere. And I thought he had a grand mal seizure and was just like laying by the phone or something. And no, he was cheating on me, and I had no idea because I always told him from the I told him, I said, don't stay with me just because I'm pregnant. I told him that when we were having issues, like when I saw his sort of temper, it was scaring me. Now, granted, he had quite a few grand mal seizures, and he's epileptic and stuff, but he had a terrible relationship with his mother. I should say her with him. I mean, she really treated him lesser than. And I saw it. I saw it when I was 8 months pregnant and got on a train and went to Seaside, Oregon, where she was living, and he had gone there even after he found out I was pregnant. So, that sucked and everything. And then he decided to come back in January. But he wanted to go to college there. And I'm just like, I'm pregnant, and he had never had a child with anyone else. And I've said this before, he was 16 years younger than me. So he was 25. And, I was 41, and, there you go. So, I made a lot of mistakes. Do you know what I mean? In choices of, boyfriend or whoever I got, involved with. I'll just see if anybody's. Oh, hi, Relentless. Stopping by to give you a thumbs up and some love. Thank you. ADHD is new here again. Well, thanks for being here, ADHD. You were once a Girl Scout, Mary Jane Doe. That was at 7:35, so we're looking at 10 minutes ago. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, please hit the like. The algorithm likes it. Damn spell check. Oh, hi, Max Smith. Thank you. Wow. Sam Oliver. Remember, it is never too late to trust Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. I do believe in God, and I get more reminded of him when I get to the AA hall, and I haven't been able to get there all week because I spent some time with my daughter, and then I had this appointment, and I had to go to the store, and da-da-da. Yeah, and but it's like when I was at the meeting once, I'd say about a week ago, I was stressing about my son because he was off his meds and things were hard. And I was just sharing a little bit about my life after the meeting. And this guy that chaired the meeting, who has a lot of sober time, and he's a little older than me, he said, Megan, you need God in your life. And I felt like saying, well, he is in my life. But I listened, and he's right. Like, when am I going to turn things over to him? When am I going to really let go and let God? When am I going to trust and have that faith when things and times are really hard? So instead of feeling like, gee, how dare you say that to me, I was like, kind of glad he said that. So I actually have my Serenity Prayer thing out on the card table to remind me of it. And oh, thanks, Max Smith. Impressive pictures I posted of of me and my mom. Yeah, I wanted to just have ones of her, honestly, because it was her birthday on the 12th, and then the 11th was Mother's Day. But yeah, she was a beautiful woman, really, her whole life. She did Tai Chi when she was 70, and she danced when I took a train there with my daughter outside on this little gravel road by our house. And if I had had anything, I would have filmed it. You know what I mean? But she wouldn't have wanted to have been filmed anyway. But thank you for that. Yeah, they were very active. You know, pictures of us camping, and I look at my dad, and he was it's called Black Norwegian, where your skin gets really dark. Holy moly. That gray and white one, if you guys look at it in my posts, he's like all of, well, my mom was 21 and I think he was 28. So he was like 7 years older. And he just looks like, you know, thanks, Max Smith. Yeah, and rode bikes, and we went to many places, did a lot of traveling. Yeah, well, thank you for that, Max. That's very nice of you. And so anyway, like kind of back to my lives are so different now. But the thing is, it should be okay because we all change. Even if we don't want to, we do, either physically or mentally or a little bit, getting older or whatever it is. And um, my lives are more, what are they? More low key, more stress free, hopefully, for everybody. Um, and each one is important to me. Um, I want to share some type of learning or wisdom that I come across, either in some of my books or whatever. People seem to like my reading. I guess I have a okay voice. I don't call it voice codes, but Team Rosewood, I guess. Um, but when your sister is a year younger than you and your parents pass away, I mean, my dad did 4 years ago. And this month I'll be putting up pictures of my father. Um, one of them at the University of South Dakota when he was learning news reporting. He actually met Tom Brokaw when Tom Brokaw was in his 20s. Thanks, Mary Jane Doe. Thanks. Um, and then there's one of him on his bike outside of Spokane, in Spokane, outside of his place when he lived there. I think he was in his 40s. And that's when I visited when I was 16 with my sister and got flippin' horrible. What is that kissing disease, you guys? They say it's a kissing disease, but it's not necessarily from kissing. It starts with M. Whatever. I didn't even know I had that. I just woke up with the worst mono. Yeah. Oh my God. Pain in my abdomen was just outrageous. You had it too, Mary Jane Doe? Yeah, they say, oh, thanks, ADHD. Thank you so much. Tina, please do not settle yourself short ever. Thank you. Well, you guys, I came across a lady. I don't know if you would just type in Billie Joe. It's Billie space JO. And she's 55 or so now, and she's got a complete sleeve and a few other tattoos, and she's kind of like me. It was really weird. She came up on my feed, and in her description, it's like, dance because you can and you want to. Feel free to be you no matter what age you are. It's like everything she said, I sort of feel and portray usually, or try to. She has long blonde hair, and she's from Pickens, Pickens, South Carolina. And she has 100,000. She got the plaque. She has 100,001 subs, or 100, or whatever it is. And I came across her last night. I was reading some of her posts, and she's very spiritual and all of that, and or I should say Christian like or whatever. And she said she always wanted to be a nurse, but she had her first child at 17 or 19 maybe, and the next one at 21, and didn't have it done. But I'm literally shouting out her channel. I sent it to Becca, Tattooed Angel 2229, because Becca is from I don't know if it's South Carolina, it could be North Carolina, but somewhere in the Carolinas. And Becca has tattoos and is spiritual and very kind and very sweet. Anyway, I was really impressed by this woman, and she just talks to people from the heart, and has a lot to offer. Yeah, it was really neat. Oh, it's always referred to as the kissing disease. Yeah, mono is mononucleosis. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was 16. That's when I had my first boyfriend, and I had to get a pregnancy test, make sure that wasn't causing the abdominal pain, and they said my lymph nodes down in this German doctor that my dad brought me to, this female German doctor in this little office, because they didn't know. They couldn't figure out back then, in the 80s anyway, what was going on with me in the ER. And she pressed just very briefly and said, "Oh, you have mononucleosis." And so, I could barely eat, and my lymph nodes were as hard as bricks, she said. I could barely walk. It was very strange. It's in the nose mucus or something. Yeah, and also I hear you can get it just from really getting worn out, like as a teenager, like whether it's getting ready for a trip or, I mean, obviously that's not how I got it if it's in the nose or something, but easier to get if you're, packing and washing clothes and getting ready to maybe go on a trip, or maybe you have a bunch of exams coming or whatever. Uh, oh, don't touch a doorknob or rub your eyes. Yeah, I'm always touching my nose. Even on here, I see that my nose is much more drier now that I'm older. And I've been putting my contacts in every day so I can ride my bike and see. But if they're for only farsighted, or I mean, let's see, I'm nearsighted because I can't see far. So if they were in right now, I wouldn't be able to see. So I lean in. Now my glasses, even though they're nice and all, I just don't want to wear them. So I lean in, like this, and see the comments and stuff. Ow. Oh, Max Smith said, don't touch the doorknob or rub your eyes. Yeah, that was to Mary Jane Doe. Mary Jane Doe says, when I was like 13, a bunch of us girls did little stick and poke tattoos. They all did it on the hands, but I put it on my ankle when I was younger. I never wanted visible tattoos. That's cute. I think henna would be kind of fun. I used to think I wanted to get a tattoo, and if I ever do, it'll be a little sunflower on my hip, like my mom had, a way of not memorializing her, but whatever the word is. I can't think of words half the time. Yeah, but now, I don't know, it's kind of nice, not just having skin. I don't think tattoos on women's legs, and I'm just going to say this, you guys, unless you're slender, whatever, is very nice looking. I mean, I don't, it's like if I see just this black tattoo, like on the calf, and someone's walking down the beach, I just don't think that's very appealing. At first, I think it's a big bruise, and then I realize it's a tattoo. I like the colored ones. I do like the way sleeves look. Oh, nice. You have henna ink? Oh, yeah. Plastic gloves at the gas station. I use plastic gloves. I use those disposable gloves, the surgical kind, they have white, purple, light blue, whatever. When I go to the store, because a big shopping, not a little one, grabbing, but when I'm grabbing a lot of stuff. And now apparently, you guys, not to get all into it, it was on the news. There's a new variant in China, and I don't know how bad it is. I don't know if people are, I'm just going to say it, dropping dead or what. But yeah, but it doesn't surprise me, because there's been variants, right? The Lambda or whatever, and all these other ones before this. Yeah. So, wow, I've been live about an hour. So, yeah, that music is the relaxed movement, and it's a copyright free. Um, and unless it says that, like if it just says royalty free or free music for streamers, it's got to say copyright, I think. And yeah, so I'm still reading this book, The Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield, and I'm going to do what I usually do. Thanks everyone for being here. You never know. There's going to be a lot of people or a few. And thanks for the 11 in the lilac fields. It was tulip fields in May. Now it's lilac fields because that's what, who was it now that said they were all in bloom? Maybe you remember Mary Jane. And she wanted to choose lilacs. Wasn't it lilacs? I don't think it was daffodils. But yeah, so I changed up my living room today. That took over 2 hours because I have to get the whole tub from my storage tub with the lid of all these different kind of summery, colorful orange and pink and yellow and type deal things out. So I'll film out there sometime to show you guys, but it looks very colorful and cheerful, and it was purple out there, which is a sign of tranquility, supposedly. Uh, oh, wow. All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the camera so you guys can hear my voice codes. 48 degrees, Mary Jane. Yikes. I think it's only going to be in maybe the 60s this whole week here. But I'm blessed. I'm not in Tornado Alley. I'm not in Hurricaneville, and I mean, I am 35 miles from Mount Baker, and supposedly someday that's supposed to blow, but hopefully my children or I won't be here. Hopefully it's in like 100 years or something from now, but yeah, we don't have any real bad sort of situations we need to worry about. Now and then the wind will really pick up even to 50 or 60 and blow some tree trunks around and that kind of thing. But I was on my bike on the boardwalk heading to, I can't remember where now, last week. And if I had left, I don't know, a second and a half later, a bird would have hit me. More than likely, this bird flew right in front of me, and I was like, and I was like, oh my God, like if I mean, I probably would have been fine, but I'm going a pretty good clip on it. And it would have really startled me to be hit in the face. Now I have a helmet on, so maybe it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But what if it had hurt the bird or something? No, I'm 2 hours from the Space Needle, Max. Seattle's 2 hours. Hi, according to Leanie. Hello. Thank you. Thanks for saying hi. Yeah, I haven't got, like, first it was 2 days, then it was 3, then it was 4, and I really, I'm doing what the Heart magazine says, and it says a sleep schedule is pretty important after a heart attack. So I don't know. I try to go to bed at 10, and maybe I'm asleep by 10:30 or 11. I used to fall asleep like that. Now it's harder. I think I'm just having like anxiety about noticing the rhythm of my heart when I'm just still, laying still or something. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, yes, yes, I got that article. Yeah, I opened that up. The northern lights were visible from there. Yeah, you said Oregon and Washington State. Oh, wow. Hi, Courtney Leja. I haven't been in here in a very long time. You had a heart attack. Yeah, I had a stress induced heart attack, Courtney, on April 16th. Yeah. And it was weird because I was emotional about different things and not kind of, I was, well, yeah, kind of apologizing and agreeing with Team Rose. We weren't fighting at all. It was a really good live. There were 2 other women up there, maybe even 3. And I had pain that would not go away when I hopped off the panel for 45 minutes. And it was from here to here, it felt like acid reflux, but I don't ever have that kind of issue. I had it once when I was 35. So I called the paramedics and they did the tests and I was fine. And then they decided to do more tests where the papers come out of the machine and they look at them. And that's when they said I should go to the hospital. And then I said, I got scared, I'm like, am I having a heart attack? And they probably wanted to say, yeah, it's 50-50, but they didn't want to alarm me. So, yeah. So I went. I was crying in the ambulance because I thought I was having a heart attack. Because, I didn't think I was going to die. I've said this before. On my way to the hospital, I'm in an ambulance, but you just don't know what your heart is going to do at any given second when you're going through this stuff. But yeah, I had no blockage, Courtney, and it wasn't acid reflux. They had me drink some stuff and take pictures. And I actually filmed my time in the hospital. Yeah, 3 days worth. Not long streams, maybe 20 minutes, 25, as I'm going through things and finding out. And those are in my lives. And I look like total heck with no makeup. My lips, this is why I wear lipstick. When I don't have any color on, my lips are nearly white now. And that's another thing that happens, right? As you get older, you lose your pigmentation there. Yeah. So yeah. Sweeping off the deck, you're outside with your dog. Yeah, so it was really scary, but once again, I'm blessed because I have no blockage and they didn't know. I had to have a heart catheter done. And, they're, they did it through the wrist, and that was really intense. Not when it was done, when it was over. I had to have this thing, and then I had to wear this thing for about 5-6 days here because they didn't want it to open. So I had this kind of big bandage thing and then this black brace thing I had to sleep in. It was so strange. Well, there's Veritas Trismegistus. I haven't seen you in ages. You can have my heart. Well, 3 days in a hospital is 3 days with no rest. Uh, yeah. I mean, every 20 minutes they were in there and they were checking my blood pressure all the time. They were so good. I mean, just like when I had my stroke 4 years ago, my Keesmic thalamic, I had a clot in my thalamus over here, the size of an M&M. I sent them a thank you card. Like, it was that incredible. The loving care and professionalism that I received, and I'm sure everybody does. So I sent one this time too. This one had like an ocean on it, and I just said thank you to every single person that was on South whatever, and I mentioned whatever, and yeah, I mean, when you think about it, even the cleaning people, they kept the floors clean and the bathroom clean, and the gal would come in like, I think once a day to do the cleaning, and the other times to grab the garbage. And you know, um, who knows if she gets thanked very much, for her duties at the hospital. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here, everybody. Um, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get to this now. Starting on the 28th, I got my free 20 hours of StreamYard, but I'm usually on like an hour, hour and a half. And if I have a little trivia game night, which I want to do on weekends, but since I wasn't here, I wanted to get a chapter done in my book. Um, yeah, hospital staff get few thank yous. They um, thank thank you cards, so they're a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's round the clock, right? I was in ICU for the first evening and morning, and then they moved me, I believe, the second day to the heart unit. I was in a different on a different floor, probably. I don't know. I was going around a ways there on my bed. They took me in my bed, put my bag and everything on it, and moved my bed instead of putting me in a wheelchair. It was kind of interesting. All right, you guys. So on this book, The Wise Heart, we're on chapter 12 now, and it's about the different personality types. And it's mindfulness, and it's how everything you do and the way you think about yourself and the world and others affects your body and affects your heart and affects your mind, of course. And what affects your mind affects your heart. It's all together. So I'm going to turn this off so you can just focus on my words, and hopefully my sound is good. I have the fan on number 1 in the background. But now my feet are getting a little cold because I'm usually barefoot in here. Well, throughout the house, really. Okay. So this is personality types. Last 5 days ago, I did the ancient unconscious, talked about that, dreams a little bit and stuff. And I read just parts of the chapter. I don't read all the stories in the entire chapter. So when people first begin to be mindful of their personality, they are frequently dissatisfied by what they find. They often want to become like someone else. What does it mean to transform ourselves? How much can and should human beings change? When we look at the state of our own mind, these become urgent questions. We can transform the unhealthy roots of suffering, but this must be done within the framework of our own personality and temperament, not by getting rid of them. Grasping, aversion, and delusion. We have met this trio before. These are the classic 3 roots of all unhealthy states, and they also create 3 unhealthy personality types, 3 styles of approaching the world. Okay, wanting and then rejecting is governed by confusion. With mindfulness, each of these unhealthy temperaments can be changed into healthy patterns. And then we can see that the personality is not a permanent essence. Like the body, it is a temporary condition. It is not who we really are. Our temperament is to be understood, not eliminated. Knowing our temperament, we can use this understanding to bring compassion to ourselves and others. We can work with our personality to transform the aspects that are unhealthy. And then we can recognize our true nature that is beyond the limitations of any personality. The unhealthy patterns of our personality can be recognized and transformed into a healthy expression of our natural temperament. Our innate temperaments are shaped by conditioning from parents and environment. Through the interaction of inheritance and conditioning, nature and nurture, our personality is formed. The grasping temperament. The grasping or greed temperament is constructed around desire. It is experienced as a sense of seeking, of wanting more, and of addiction. It grasps after comfort and avoids disharmony in all situations. It desires fulfillment through pleasures, finding what it likes in the world of the senses. From liking, it can move quickly to craving, passion, and sensuality. Out of the roots of grasping, there arise associated states of vanity, willfulness, pride, self-centeredness, jealousy, avarice, deceit, and addiction. Each temperament also has a distinctive physical style. The traditional teachings declare that those with a grasping temperament walk graciously, with an elegant and springy step. Their stance is confident and composed. They like to sleep comfortably, wake up slowly, stretch and relax, and take food unhurriedly, choosing rich, sweet food to savor. In modern life, the person with such a temperament drives a car with a relaxed, easy attention and moves gracefully in traffic. When individuals with a grasping temperament enter a room, they see whatever is pleasing and linger upon it. They leave most pleasant circumstances slowly and with regret. When meeting new people, they seize on trivial virtues and discount genuine faults. And in conversation, they avoid conflict and seek harmony even by dishonesty. Okay, then there's the aversive temperament. The aversive temperament is constructed around judgment and rejection of experience. It has a disaffected quality that easily sees faults, and for this temperament, problems are apparent everywhere. It is critical, quickly displeased, quarrelsome, and disparaging of many things. Its quality of aversion can give rise to states of anger, vindictiveness, haughtiness, hatred, cruelty, aggression, and the struggle to control. There is a tight-fisted and rigid quality to this temperament. Traditionally, the aversive temperament is associated with one who walks quickly with hard steps. The stance is rigid. Such characters move stiffly and unevenly with tension and tightness. The aversive temperament is described as one who lies down hastily, sleeps with a scowl, wakes up quickly as if annoyed, and takes food sometimes sour and rough, eating it hurriedly without savoring it. Yet they are displeased and aggrieved when their food is not right. Today, the person with such a temperament would drive hurriedly, gripping the wheel tightly, and move in traffic jerkily, easily annoyed by other drivers. When people with an aversive temperament enter a room, they notice what is wrong, focusing on the difficulties, seizing upon any slightly unpleasant object, picking out trivial faults and discounting real virtues, or they pay scanty attention, avoid real connection as if tired or bored, and leave quickly as if anxious to go. Hi, Killing Time. Your husband cheated with his ex when you were pregnant? Good grief. Okay. So then we have the diluted temperament. This is the third one. You guys can think, if you want to, which one you think you might be. Reading this before and reading it now, I feel I'm the grasping temperament. I am not the aversive temperament. The diluted temperament is this third one. The diluted or confused temperament is constructed around uncertainty and confusion. People with this temperament experience not quite knowing what to do or how to relate to the world. They seek to establish ease by ignoring what is happening or through dullness or inaction. The diluted temperament gives rise to perplexity and worry, doubt, negligence, scattered thoughts, anxiety, and agitation. Traditionally, diluted characters are those whose stance is muddled, who walk hesitantly with a perplexed gait, who shuffle along, and who act in an indecisive and uneven manner. They are described as those who sleep with limbs sprawling or face down and wake with a huh? They take food casually, not knowing what they want, and eat messily, dropping bits with mind astray. In modern life, they are inattentive drivers, drifting over the road, mixed up and meandering in traffic. When people with a diluted nature enter a room, they feel confused, not knowing what to do or how they should act. They are not related to their own body and do not know themselves. In conversation, they copy what others are doing. If everyone is praising, they praise, while if everyone is critical, they join in. In general, they are inconsistent and a bit lost. Yeah, someone in my family comes to mind with that third one. Most definitely. Once we recognize the patterns of personality, we can see them for what they are, simply different patterns of energy. This perspective is so helpful to see in a marriage, a partnership, a community. Our personalities are not wrong, they are simply different. When we accept this fact, we can hold them with spacious consciousness. We can learn to transform the unhealthy states of our personality. They are not who we really are. While our problems don't stop when we recognize and do not identify with them, we are no longer reactive and stuck. Their liberated energy brings us more fully alive. We take whatever situation we find ourselves in and bring beauty to it. We highlight the goodness and generosity of the people around us, and we make our home and community places of harmony. The aversive temperament, when transformed, gives rise to discriminating, wisdom, non-contentiousness, and loving kindness. Anger can be transformed into strength and clarity that unite the opposites. When transformed, the diluted temperament gives rise to spaciousness, equanimity, and understanding, called the wisdom of great questioning. Finally, beyond transformation, we can learn to release our identification with the personality altogether. So Harrison Hobletzel, who's a friend of this man who wrote the book, demonstrated this transformation when he became sick. In his 60s, Harrison was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia are terrifying to most people. And indeed, Hobbs' decline was a long, difficult ordeal for his family. Nevertheless, when he was first diagnosed, he was determined to use his disease as a place of practice. He had been a generous, gentlemanly figure, dedicated to his students and to the practice of loving kindness. He continued to offer to the world a kind heart, even as his memory and identity failed. During the first several years of his decline, Harrison would still occasionally teach and speak about his experience. One evening, however, he found himself standing before a meditation group, having forgotten who he was and why he was there. So he simply began to mindfully acknowledge out loud his experiences: blank mind, nervousness, fear, body tense, embarrassment, coolness, curiosity, nervousness, calming, relaxing, blank mind, loving feelings, warmer, less trembling, still uncertainty, and so on for several minutes. He said these words. It was all he could do. He stopped, rested quietly, and bowed to the audience. They stood up and applauded in honor of his presence and his courage. It was, as several said, among the finest teachings I have ever received. For a moment, Harrison had transformed even Alzheimer's into freedom. So I'm going to end with this in this chapter: acknowledging your personality type. You each can do this in chat if you'd like to. Try it. Observe how your temperament functions for a whole day, with people, circumstances, pleasures, and difficulties. Notice how temperament is an impersonal pattern that operates rather automatically. Notice if there is any judgment of your personality, and see what happens if you let the judgment go. Notice what is most valuable about your temperament, such as appreciation, clarity, or an easygoing nature. See what happens if you focus on these positive aspects. All right. And I must read this quickly. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarship, and research. Yeah. All right. Yeah, killing time. Aren't you the one that said lilacs are in full bloom in June? My birthday is in 26 more days. 26 more days. I'll be 63 years young. 63 years young. At least I lived this long. I mean, that's the thing. I just read, what did I read it in? Chat somewhere, or not even a chat, in a story, that somebody their friend had a stroke. He has to be fed, can't walk, he can't talk. I mean, an electric bike, I just don't know. They move awfully, awfully fast, killing time. Thank you, Mary Jane Doe, for putting that disclaimer in. Thanks, you guys. So it's been about an hour and a half, and I hope you enjoyed at least that little story about, the man with Alzheimer's and how he just had the courage to stand there and say words of how he was feeling and what his mind was going through. And, you know, not everyone can handle Alzheimer's gracefully. I hear it gets, really harder, or can, near the end or in the middle or something. My father's wife, Pat, had it for, I think it was 11 years. And to see a woman that was very boisterous, is that even a word? Not boisterous, but boisterous. Maybe boisterous isn't a word. A little controlling, a little pushy. But I mean, that's how I remembered her when I saw her before her Alzheimer's. A little opinionated, that kind of thing, too. Near the end, a shell of herself. And my dad had to take care of her, and she got it at a pretty young age, just like her sisters. I really commend people that are going through it and the caretakers that take care of them, you know. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go. It's been an hour and a half. Thanks, everyone, for being here. And thanks for coming in like this, and even just saying hi and then dipping out. I don't care. Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful to see all of you. I will pull up, because it's quite upbeat. I will pull up my song that for the ones that haven't heard it yet, that Sierra Queen Pin Clark, what is wrong with me, made on Suno for me. Yeah, it's got a good beat. The words are kind of neat. I like the words where it says when she dances, her hips sliced through butter. I don't know, something like that. It's not really it, but here we go. I might even dance to it. Scared me. Life's a jungle, she chopping through the utter clutter. Unapologetic, steel in her veins. Flaming red hair, igniting the flames. Trap bounce, turn heads, no need for claims. Tina got the world spinning in her lane. Feel good anthem for the heart to break. She bends, but don't fold. Risk what's at stake. Deep bass drops, hearts quake, earth shakes. Tina on fire, every move she makes. Hardcore grind, she make the rules bend. Fierce mama bear, no time to pretend. Mic in one hand, babe in the other. Queens don't slumber, she a force undercover. Molded chaos, wears it like a crown. Life threw punches, but she never stayed down. Dynamic rhythm, put the drama out of town. Paper cut, Tina royalty profound. Feel good anthem for the unyielding crew. Dance floor breaks and defeat like it's new. Rap beats rain, 808s in the blue. Tina's groove conquering, bold and true. Hey,
fake. Beat bass drops, hearts quake, earth shakes. Seen her on fire, every move she makes. Hardcore grind, she make the rules bend. Kiss mama bear, no time to pretend. Mic in one hand, babe, in the other. Queens don't slumber, she a force undercover.
Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you're willing to. I'm out of breath. Love you guys.